good morning, and happy Plansational Sunday. I know this is a mid morning Plansational Sunday and not a 5 a.m., but trust you me, you guys did not want to hear me at 5 a.m. this morning. I've been going through some congestion and all of that, and I could barely sit up this morning with the medicine that I had taken. So my voice sounds a lot better. So I figured let's go mid morning this morning where I could be upbeat, energetic, and flow with you and not be the, oh, I just rolled out of bed and I can barely talk Carolyn on Plantational Sunday. So that's not me, and I didn't want to show up as somebody that was not me. So good morning, good morning. I hope more of you are able to join me live. I am going to pull up the comments so that I can see you guys, but bear with me this morning on this plantational Sunday because we are let's get it here. Windows, let's get the comments up. So, if you're here with me live, good morning, good morning. And I hope that you have your pen and paper ready because this is a discussion that you're definitely going to want to take notes on for this Plantational Sunday. So, I'm going to go ahead and say good morning. If you are live here with me, hashtag live. And if you're watching this on replay, hashtag replay. So, good morning, and happy Plantational Sunday. All right, so let's get this party started. All right, so if you're new here with me, Plantational Sunday is a series that I do every single Sunday, unless, like I said, I'm under the weather or I'm traveling. But in the new year, we are going to switch it up just a little bit so that we are sure to be here with you every single Sunday. So on Plantational Sunday, I want you guys to think of it as your setup for the week. It is your time where you come and you get your training, and then you sit down with your planner, you sit down with your notebook, and you map out exactly what your week should look like, or you want it to look like. People don't realize just how much control they have over their life, and it starts with structure and order. You can sit down and map it out, and it's up to you if you're going to stick to it or if you're going to allow things or people or clutter or thoughts to throw you off track. So it is really important that you spend time writing out that structure, and not only spend time writing it out, but stick to it. You should set down a list of things that can throw you off your schedule. And if it's not those things, then the answer is no. And this is what differentiates us from people who have really successful businesses and those that are struggling. And those that are struggling are easily knocked off their block, as we say, and distracted and go down different paths. So I want you guys to really lean into using your Plansational Sunday to map out what each day should look like. And as we get into the order and systems part of training, I want to talk about stepping into 2026. A lot of us are like, I got to get ready. I got to get ready. No, you have to start practicing it now in order for you to be able to live it out in 2026. And so, this today on this Plansational Sunday, I want you to take a second and I want you to step in to the person that you want to become. I want you to think about that person for a second. How early does she wake up? What does her day look like? How does the flow, how does her interaction look? How does her schedule look? What does that person do and look like? And if you do not start becoming and tapping into that future person, you will never become that person. So you have to start living it out now. No excuses, not, oh, but if I didn't have this job, treat that job as if it's a client and you are showing up, because there's no way that you're going to be able to sustain a business without doing some type of work. So think about that as the work in your business that you really don't care for as much, but you're showing up. So if you say now, I don't have the time, I don't have the energy, I have to do this, I have to do this, and you cannot structure the life, you will never get out of the cycle. So, what I want you to do is take out a piece of paper and let's visualize what that successful business owner looks like. And a lot of times we have delusions about that. We think that we're going to be able to wake up, sit on our porch and drink tea and just relax, go on family vacation and never have to do any work. And if you start to study some of the most successful men and women in your industry, you have to understand what their structure and their life looks like. Think about Oprah and Martha Stewart. I was just in interviews where I was in the live room with them being interviewed and them talking about their life. And a lot of us think that they have this cushiony life where they don't do anything and everything flows. No, they still work. They still wake up early. They still write. They still are creative. They still come up with different things. They still answer emails and phone calls. And so they still work. So don't think that quitting your job or going into your business means that you're going to work less. It means that you're going to work a little bit more in unstructured hours. So if you do not get the structure now, you will not be able to handle the stress that comes along with multiple clients, multiple phone calls, multiple things. And yes, they do have staff. They have staff that takes care of the things that are not pertaining to their business, such as drivers and chefs and cooks. But why do they need that? Because they're working. It's not because they're sitting there doing anything, but nothing. They are actually building relationships, showing up to different things, flying here, flying there, until they don't have time for those. And you want to think about what does that structure look like for you, so that when you walk into that season of life, you are not just sitting there going, oh, I don't have to do anything. I'm just going to sit back and money is going to flow to me. Yes, money is going to flow to you, but you're definitely going to have to be active in your business and touch things and show up and actually work. So, why not start doing that now? So, let's take a second to visualize what does the successful Ada look like? Good morning, Ada. What does the successful Carolyn look like? What does the successful Christopher look like? Christy looks like? What does that successful person look like? And what type of day would they have? And what could you start doing now to structure yourself to be that person? And so, as we sit and we write those things down, we are going to set that framework for our day, that order. A lot of times, the reason why we are overloading is because we think the more work that we do, the more we're going to get. No, it's doing less and more of the right things, the things that align to your vision. And I started asking myself as I made a list, is this something that is going to get me to where I'm trying to go? Or is this something that is sucking my time like a vampire and leaving me in the spot that I am in? Is this something that is going to push me forward or keep me stagnant as to where I'm at? And if you look at your time, you have about 12 to 14 hours in a day that you're awake. What are the energy suckers in that time? And we need to eliminate them so that we can push forward. Is it TV shows? Is it scrolling the Instagram and Facebook without purpose? Is it phone conversations? Is it hanging out with people who do not serve you? Is it talking about doing a thing but not doing the thing? What is it that is sucking your energy in your schedule and taking you away from the things that you should be doing? So, one of the things that I challenge a lot of people in my community to do was sit down for a whole week, just 1 week. And I want you to write down everything that you're doing within a day. Just everything, every hour on an hour or every 30 minutes, just what you're doing. Then look at the schedule that you plan for yourself and then ask yourself, is it aligned? Or am I doing more things that do not serve the purpose that is going to catapult me into the next level? So we need to spend time and be reflective. Are we doing the things? Or are we just talking about the things? Are we showing up in a way that we're supposed to show up? And are we planning for that success? It is one thing to write something in your planner. It is one thing to write something on a list, but it is a totally different thing to execute it. And we have to get into our execution season. I've had conversations with friends and even for myself at one point. I was like, man, that person does less, but how come they've catapulted? How come they're successful? Because of the structure. It's about consistency. It's about showing up and showing people that you know what you're talking about and you know what you're supposed to be doing. And that way they see that you are an authority in the field. But if you're constantly in the background doing the background work, constantly doing work that does not get your message out there, that is why your success is being held. I always say get some order, get consistent, or stay broke. That is the truth about. It's not that somebody's smarter than you. It's not because they have more than you. It is because they just have order and consistency. And it starts with a structured schedule. When is the last time you've done a reflective day where you've sat down and wrote down and really analyzed what you're doing during the day? What does your Monday look like? What does your Tuesday look like? What is your Wednesday, your Thursday, your Friday, your Saturday, and your Sunday? And I'm going to tell you this, when you are willing or ready to take your business to the next level, you have no weekends off because you're building. You're in a time crunch. You're trying to get things laid, foundations laid, systems put into place so that you can enjoy and reap the benefits from that. Oh, I need time off. Okay, that time off could cost you some serious connections. And yes, the body does need rest, but think of it like a rubber band that's stretching. And in these last 3 weeks of the year, we need to stretch so that we can have time to lay the foundation, get systems in place, get structure in place, so that when we walk into 2026, we are ready. We are ready for things to flow into us. There are businesses that would want to work with you, but they can't work with you because you don't have the structures in place. You don't have the flow in place. You don't have the systems in place. So, why would they want to pour more money into a hole that is not producing what even they're supposed to produce on their own? So we have to show up in a way, in a consistent way, so that we can go to the next level. So, one of the things that you have to understand is you have to filter through what's right for you. Is it the assignment? Does it directly advance the one goal that you have? If it advances that goal that you have, then it is the right thing. Is it advantage? Would it finish and create leverage for you? Is it reusable assets? Is it a system? So is it an advantage? Is it something that you are creating that is going to be used time and time again? And then availability. Realistically, you have to have energy and time to be able to show up for the during the week. So you have to look at your availability and ask yourself, am I making enough available time for myself to be able to create the things? And if the availability is there, if it is an advantage that is going to get you ahead, if it is aligned to the assignment, then you are doing the right thing. But we spend so many hours, so many days, so many weeks trying to figure out what's already there. It's just time to do it. It's just time to do it. It's time to get an accountability partner or a coach that is not going to pour more into you, but is going to hold you to the highest matter to say, hey, I'm not going to tell you anything because you know it all. Now let's just get to work. You need to create space to work on the thing. How many of you have ideas that are manifesting in your mind? Ideas that you've been thinking about, pondering about. You think you need one more YouTube video. You just need to do it. Well, Carolyn, if you had more time, what? Because you doing it is creating the time to be able to take your life to the next level so that you have more time next time. It is execution season. It is a season to get things in order and to create systems that are running like well-oiled machines. And in order to get there, we have to look at what's not right, exit off, cross it off, and do more of what you know is going to get you to where you need to be. As we're talking about reflection on your future self and your future self day, I went through and I kind of thought about like that into blocks. I lived a life in billionaire Carolyn, multi billionaire Carolyn. What would the multi billionaire Carolyn look like? So I thought about my AM block. Like when I wake up, like what time would I want to wake up? What would I want to do in the early mornings? And when I say the early mornings for me is like between 4:30 and 8:30. Like what would I want that morning block to look like for me? Sometimes then for you guys it may be between 6 and 9. What does that morning block of time looks like for the billionaire Carolyn? When her feet hits the ground, what is the first things that she would do in the morning time? And for me, I'm not going to go into the full detail. One of the things that has contributed to the success and the structure of my day is the miracle morning. The Miracle Morning is an amazing book and it talks about the savers. I've talked about it tons of times here on Plansational Sunday. But the successful me will spend time in silence so that I can hear. We call it a time of meditation. A lot of times, if you are a believer, you'll get up and you'll pray, you'll thank God for the morning, and we're talking. But when do you have time to receive and hear the thoughts and hear the things that are in your heart? So, spending time in silence, whether you do it in the shower, whether you do it while you're on your walk, but in my morning block, the miracle morning is something that is truly important because it has all the components of getting your day started. It has the silence, it has saying the affirmations. When is the last time you looked at your vision board? I know we're about to get back into vision board season and I'm going to talk about that next week, is how to really do a vision board. It should be an execution board so that we can start working towards those goals. When is the last time that you spent time visualizing and looking at that board and saying affirmations? So you have silence, affirmations, visualization, and then E is going to be exercise, getting some movements. The successful Carolyn exercises in the morning. The successful Carolyn makes time to take care of her temple and her body. Then we read, whether it's listening to an ebook, whether it's actually reading a physical book, but we have to spend time educating ourselves. And then the last thing is write. And whether you're writing a book or keeping a journal or planning out your day, you need to spend time writing. And during my scribe time, I spend time planning out my day, which is already structured out, but I make some adjustments based on like emails that came in, clients that came in, and I kind of adjust my schedule. And then I journal. I spend time writing notes, and this comes in helpful when you are reflecting back on where you used to be. A lot of us forget where we've been, and I have planners and journals. You guys can see some of them behind me that I go back and I read some of the hardest moments of my life, and I get excited. It is refreshing to see that there has been progress. There has been things that I've gone through that now I can stand and say, you know what? I'm not there anymore. I'm not on that path anymore. I finally arrived. So spending some time journaling about what's going on in my life, what's happening right now, and then at the end of the year you can reflect back and see where you were, what were your goals then, and how much of those goals you have achieved. So I can tell you guys, I can remember when getting a MacBook was my financial goal. Like, and when I go back and I look at that and I'm like, whoa, girl, you have multiple now. So when that was a goal, when I was striving as a beginner creator and writing and doing videos, I wanted all of this amazing equipment so that I could show up amazing on camera. And when I go back and I reflect on it, I have achieved those goals. So now it's time for me to really start to go back to that writing because it's just good to see that success. So, what does your morning block look like? Then your midday connection. When are you going to make connections? When are you going to do outreach? And so I usually do that during the midday. I service a lot of my clients during the midday. I do a lot of my courses during the midday. And so what does a successful Carolyn's midday block look like? And how can I create that in a way that I can start living that out right now? What about your PM block? So, is it you following up with people when you go to lunch and you eat? What are you eating during that time? How do you prepare to have the lunch that you're supposed to have to refuel you? What conversations are you having during your PM block? And then After that, do you have a block of time when you do admin work, when you work on your financials, look at your numbers, when you organize, are you clean? What does that mid PM evening block look like? And then what does your shutdown routine look like? In the evening when you're coming off of the day, um, how do you know if you've reached your goals? How do you know that you have had a successful day? What gauges it as a successful day? What is your top three things that you want to get done for tomorrow? And so when you're looking at the successful person that you are walking into, what does that person look like? And how can you start living that life right now? How can you start becoming right now? No excuses, no reasons why. Look at your schedule because I guarantee you there are holes in your schedule that is keeping you from living that fulfilled life. You are leaking out energy, you are leaking out something somewhere. Otherwise, you will be on a level playing field and be rising to the occasion. So when we look at our daily thing, what about your weekly schedule? We talked about what does your days look like. We talked about what your week can kind of look like, but we need to start setting days to work on different things. So maybe every Sunday is when you pick your goals. Maybe every Sunday you set what your intentions are for the week. Maybe every Sunday you set your money goals and how you're going to make that money. Now, let me explain something with money goal. You can't say that you want to have a 10K week and you don't have 10K worth of products, or you don't have 10K worth of activity, or 10K worth of clients. You have to set goals that you know that you have the time, energy, and resources to accomplish, and then start working and building from that. And then maybe on Mondays, you go through the checklist. Maybe Mondays can be your filming day. If you are in this business and you don't block off time for content creation, you're going to be stuck. Think about content creation as marketing. And all of us are online. We all have Facebook. You're watching me now on Facebook. You're watching me now on Instagram. You're watching me now on different platforms. And so every single day has to have a purpose. It has to have a purpose. You have to sit down and do the things that you don't want to do in order to get the activity, the consistency, and the structure. You say, I show up and nobody shows up with me. So what? They will. They'll find you. Just keep being consistent. Nobody bought my thing for the day. Okay, go back and start telling them the reasons why they should buy it. So these things are so important when it comes to structuring out your week. So now when we think about our day, I'm going to drink some coffee right now. When we think about our day, we need to think about how the day breaks down, and we need to think about how the week breaks down. And then furthermore, we need to think about the month. Again, we have about 3.5 weeks left in 2025. And this sounds so weird saying this that we're about to go into 2026, and I feel like this year just started. What could you be doing in those 3.5 weeks to lay the foundation? What would the rich girl, the millionaire, the billionaire, the trillionaire, whatever you're striving for, whatever dropped into you, and you know that's who you're supposed to be, what would she be doing the last 3 weeks of the year? After we think about who we are and what we're supposed to be doing, think about the not to do. Think about the boundaries that you should be creating. This is the subject that hurts a lot of people because they don't want to say no. In this season, I've had to say no to a lot of things. I've had to say no so that I can show up for what I was called, what I was designed and aligned to do. So now I take a little bit more time before I say yes. I take a little bit more time before I act on a thing because I want to make sure that I am not acting on impulse feelings or because I'm afraid to hurt somebody else, but I'm acting on, is this aligned to where I'm going and what I'm supposed to do? And it may be in your mind, this is the perfect thing for me, but only I know. Only I can hear. Only only I know the vision. And yes, people will make suggestions to you and tell you this is what you need in your life, but you always need to double check it against what you were called to do and what you're supposed to be doing in this season. It can be so hard when somebody gets you right in front of their face and they're like, hey, this is what you need. And you're like, yeah, it may be. But always pause and say, let me get back to you because I want to make sure it lines up. I want to make sure I can give it my all. I want to make sure it's going to take me to the level that I need to go. And this is how we create those amazing boundaries. That if you tell a person no and they don't want to be around you, then that person was never there to support you in the first place. If you say, I can't do this right now, I have to work on this, or I can't take your phone call right now, or I can't sit in this place with you right now, and they get upset and they leave, then that person is not for you. They're not a part of the structure. They are not that future you friend or future you aligned collaboration or partners. It is time we get the order and structure for what we need in life so that we can continue to help other people. And anything that gets in the way of that cannot be. And it's when you start to really focus and have that straight and narrow alignment that you will clear the path. There will be no doubt, no naysayers, no clutter, no confusion because you've cleared the path with the do not do and with the boundaries that you have set. And that's me. I want to clear the path. I'm not available all the time. I'm not on my phone all the time. I'm not on my messages all the time. I am working. I don't have time to do that. I am working on the things that the future Carolyn would be doing at that particular time. And the future me does not answer my own inboxes. The future me doesn't take phone calls on certain lines or certain times or certain days. The future me, that's not, I'm not that accessible. So when I start to build out the structure, I have to have time to answer calls, answer text messages, but if it interferes with the focus and how I'm showing up and what I'm creating, I can't do it. I can't. And you have to ask yourself, what are you doing that's taking time away from who you are supposed to be? And I used to sit down, I used to answer every inbox, every single thing. And then hours would go by and I'm like, okay, Carolyn, what about your funnel? All right, Carolyn, what about this land? What about this project that you're doing? I was serving other people and late for my own stuff. Serving other people and putting my things on the back burner. Serving other people and not working where I was supposed to be working. And then something came over me and was like, how can you lead someone else to success and struggle yourself? You need to realign and refocus. Your help should be an overflow. It should be the bipartisan of you doing what you're supposed to be doing for your business, not vice versa. Not you picking up the scraps for yourself, but building someone else. Not you coaching other people into success, but your business is diving deep, nose diving into that. No, you have to take care of the foundation. You have to take care of the leader that you are so that you can continue to pour overflow into other people. So I am declaring right now in your life that you are claiming order and systems, that you are snatching back your life and who you are in this season, that you are saying no to the wrong things, yes to the right things. You are clearing the pathway of clutter, negative thoughts, negative energy, negative people, extra tasks, busy work, anything that does not get you to where you envision you are supposed to be. In the chat, I want you to say, not today. No, 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 not today. No, I can't serve you. No, I can't show up on your podcast for free. No, because it is not aligned to where I'm supposed to go. Oh, I'm doing it because it's a friend. Would that friend do it for you? I'm sorry, but let me refer you to somebody who aligns to what you're doing, because I'm going to be on this podcast that aligns to my vision. Oh, I'm sorry. I can't be here right now because I need to work on this. Not today. No, 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 not today. We are not doing it. But what we are doing, we're standing bold and we're clearing the pathway and we're saying yes to a life, to a life that we vision, and the life that was designed for us. I'm going to tell you, the reason why you get down, the reason why you get sad, the reason why you get depressed, the reason why you feel like, your life is falling apart, or you feel like, dang, they're making money, but I'm not making money, is because you know who you're supposed to be. And that person is looking at you and saying, get up and become me, because you're not comfortable. You're not comfortable because this is not who you're supposed to be. You're looking at the person that you're supposed to be. You're feeling the person that you're supposed to be, but we're not doing the work to become. So we need to lean into that person and say, hey, what would you do? You are me. You're the future me. Future me, what should I be doing right now so that so we can become one? Have you ever seen like a movie where the spirit comes out of somebody's body and then they're still there? And it's like the body like wants the spirit to reconnect. Think about that body laying there being you right now, and that spirit being your higher self. And it is time for you to reunite, reconnect, become one. And anything or any friction that's keeping you from reuniting, you need to say no. You see, when we talk about our future selves, or we talk about our higher selves, or however you want to put it, it's not the same for everybody. If I interview Krista right now, I say, Krista, what is your higher self? What does she look like? What is she doing? How is she living? It's not going to be the same for me. So therefore, only Krista knows what that higher person is telling her to be able to become one with her. Only Krista can get quiet enough to know what is good for her, and it's going to elevate her to becoming one with that person. I can't tell Krista that. I can listen to her. I can give her strategy. Once she tells me about that higher person, I can feed into her, but it's only her. She's the sifter. Only she can sift through the noise and agree with that higher self in order to become one with it. We were all created to be great, great in different ways, but we choose to allow circumstances, people, places, and things to keep us mediocre, and to keep looking at that person that we know that we're supposed to become, and just keep suffering and suffering and reaching, but not reaching too much, just reaching just a little bit. But I am going to encourage you to extend your arm out and connect so that you can know what you should be doing now in order to become the greatness that is going to the world will see in 2026. It's up to you. If you are sitting in this spot on a live with me in 2026 and you're the same person and you haven't become, if you haven't gotten order in your life and systems in your life, it's because you didn't make the choice. The choice to be one with that higher person, the choice to say no to things that don't serve you, the choice to show up consistently, the choice to have order and systems, the choice to only align yourself with people who are going to elevate you, the choice to work on the things that's already in you. The first book, the second book, why go do something else when you haven't even poured into what you've already created? The choice is to stop hopping around and to stay the course. Even if it seems bleaky and dark and no one will show up, just stay consistent with what you have and watch how the doors will open for you. Stay consistent and don't get pulled every which way. Like people ask me all the time, oh, you should do this because you're great. Nope, that's not aligned to what I do. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I tried it. It didn't work. So I think that I need to stick to what I know. I'm calling for some bold brothers and sisters to stand with me and stand with me in connecting with our future self, our higher self, and bringing that person into the present and start living our best life right now. I don't want to go out to eat with people who are not on the same level. I want to be on the same level with all 500, 600, 700 of my followers. I want us to be in the same room. I want us to be able to stand up and say that we all make millions, that we all have followers, we all have connections. I want to break bread with people who are doing the work, who are consistent, who are showing up, who are not stealing other people's ideas, who are not being imposters, who are not showing up because somebody told them to show up, but showing up because that is who they are and who they want to be. Who are you? And will you live a lie or will you live your truth? I'm in a season where I want to live my truth. I know that I'm a business strategist. I know that I am a content creator. I know that I want to help people make more money and do less work. That is who I am. And every gift that I have that is inside of me is to do that, is to help people to succeed in what they do. I'm not going to change that. And if the vision doesn't align to the future billionaire Carolyn, who owns an amazing early childhood training company, because I believe the children are our future. And the more teachers I train, the more schools that I structure, the more successful business owners there will be. And then for business owners, I want to make sure that you are not working yourself to the bone, but you are actually doing the right things in order for you to elevate. And for our boutiques, I want women to feel confident. I want teachers to feel confident when they walk out on that stage and when they stand on their live and they're creating their content. I want them to feel like they are the most powerful person in the room because of what they're wearing and how they show up. You see, all my businesses align to training people to succeed in whoever they are. I'm not trying to make you become a 10K month person when you're supposed to be a 5K month person or a 20K person or a 2K. I'm not trying to make you be anything, but to succeed in the things that you was put inside of you. Now, don't tell me you're supposed to do this and then get mad because I come behind you and say, hey, this is what you said you're supposed to do. So I need you to show up. I'm not creating a vision for you and handing it to you on a platter. I am having you to create the vision, and then I'm giving you the steps to be able to bring that vision to life and to be able to execute it. It's the difference between me coaching you and consulting you. I'm your consultant. You bring the vision, you bring the desire, and I give you the steps to be able to bring it to life. I'm consulting with what is you already have. I'm not giving you strategy as in telling you what you should be doing. I'm giving you strategy as in giving you the steps to bring out what you were already told you were supposed to do. And the reason why I can clearly and boldly say that everyone needs a digital strategy is because everybody knows something that they could be selling without showing up. Everybody. Everybody. So on this Plansational Sunday, it is time to grab back the order and structure. And I'm grabbing it back with you. I'm grabbing it back with you. As a matter of fact, I'm declaring to everyone today that today and Monday is going to be my time marinating in the words that the higher Carolyn have given me so that I can take the proper steps that need to be taken to be able to go to the next level. So I want to encourage you to block out some time and spend time with your higher self to understand what every hour of the day should look like, what every day of the week should look like, what every month should look like, setting your goals and going forward with intention with no distractions. Everybody can see you being great at something, but do you see yourself in those shoes? Don't let people create paths for you. Create the path that you know deep down in your heart that you're supposed to do. So let's get into our affirmation. I think that I have gone in enough and uh, said enough this morning on Plansational Sunday. If you're just joining me, go back and watch the replay. And I really hope that this morning you guys decide to grab hold of the hand of your future self and really allow the energy to flow, the vision to flow, the no's to be no's, the right yeses to be yes, and nobody to dictate but you what your day, your time, and your energy will be spent doing. So, with that being said, we're going to go into our affirmation, but in our affirmation, but thinking about it in a different way. I just want to say you have more control over your life than what you think. And I need you to declare it with this. Not only are you the architect of your time, but you're the architect of your life. What every day is crafted by you. You decide what you're going to do. You decide if you're going to wake up early. You decide if you're going to stay up late. You decide if you're going to work on your lunch break. You decide if you're going to go to work. You decide. What are you deciding? You decide if you're going to go live. You decide if you're going to make that video. You decide if you're going to create that content. You decide if you're going to pick up the phone and call people. You decide if you're going to inbox. You decide. Are you doing the work? So I am the architect of my time. I want you guys to say it. I am the architect of my time. With every hour of the day, guys, I build my dream. Me being live with you here for an hour is building my dream to impact hundreds of thousands of entrepreneurs, to let them know that their passion can bring them profit. Like every hour I build my dreams. My plans have purpose. You say it. My plans have purpose. My schedule has power. You guys, every time you write something down and you follow it to a T, that has power. It has power to either destroy you or build you up. Your schedule has power. So what you're not doing has power of your life as much as what you are doing. I craft my life. One aligned decision, one bold move. And let me just pause right there. One aligned decision. So one unaligned decision gets me off path. We think that we have to do everything at one time, but every time you make a decision, then make a move, you are crafting your life. So I craft my life. You say it. One aligned decision, one bold move, one brilliant hour at a time. I think we should say it one more time. I am the architect of my time. With every hour, I build my dream. My plans have purpose. My schedule has power. I craft my life. One aligned decision, one bold move, one brilliant hour at a time. Happy Plansational Sunday. I really hope that you guys got something from this Plansational Sunday. I hope that you guys get the order and the systems that you need to become, because I want to celebrate with all of you guys. Celebrate this time next year because you made a decision to make 2026 the best year that you've ever had, and becoming the person that you know, feel, desire to become. Thank you so much. I am Dr. Carolyn Bobb-Green, and as always, I look forward to training you to succeed in your business, making it an amazing Sunday.